Hello, today we're going to be going over your coach with you. We're going to be starting pretty much right up underneath our fifth wheel area. You got your switch here. This guy here is going to control your little blue ambiance lights up front. Over here is going to be a storage compartment. And inside here is where our propane tanks are located. There's two 30-pound tanks. The green shows that there's propane flow. When a tank is empty, that will show red. I'm going to turn that guy off. This has an auto switch over where you can choose which tank it's using. If both of them are on, once the one tank is empty, it will start pulling from the other tank. And when you come out here, the little indicator, whatever tank it's pointing at, will show red, showing that it's empty. Over here off to the side, we're going to have our inverter and our batteries. It does have two batteries. Inside our compartment area here, we're going to have our battery disconnect. This guy is to always pretty much, right now this is off, but whenever you are traveling or plugged into Sure Power, you do want to make sure it is always in the on position. Right above that's where we're going to be doing our leveling system at. With this, it's pretty simple. Push the up and down button there. We'll turn the system on. From there, you're always going to make sure that the front is higher than the back, and then you would hit auto level. From there, it's going to kind of do its stance. As long as there's not too much of an excessive angle, it will pretty much level. This green light will flash the entire time while it's doing the leveling sequence. Once it's done, it'll go back to the solid light. If an error occurs, you would have to go inside and look at the monitor. It will tell you what's going on with the system if an error has occurred. Once you're done camping, you're going to make sure that you hit hitch height, and it's going to pretty much retract your rear jacks, and it's going to set this to the last unknown hitch position as long as the batteries have not lost power or the battery disconnect was unhooked. And then once you are hooked to your tow vehicle, then you would hit retract all, and it's going to bring up your front jacks. It is pretty simple. They made it really simple for the customer. There is also right here a kind of diagram talks about the system as well. It also does let you know with the hydraulic style system, in the colder weather, the hydraulics do struggle to operate. So they'll kind of start to go up a little bit and then they'll just stop. Okay, you just got to kind of wait. It's a slow process in the cooler winter time. You do have your 50 amp cord. Previous customers did leave the water hose in here. We do have our two sets of keys. Pretty much your purple key is going to operate your entry door. This black key here, your Bauer key, operates your compartment doors. Then you have a 751 key here that will lock this door over here. And then you do have an additional key here. This guy goes to a different style lock system. There is a keypad near the entry door, but I could not find where it goes, just to be honest with you. Inside here, we're going to have our satellite hookups, cable, things along that nature. You got your water filter, which it does come with one. I would recommend replacing this, though, and it is recommended you replace these at least once a year. Here you have your city water fill. So pretty much what this is, if you're using the city water hookup, you're just going to hook up to this side here on the left. Always make sure you use a pressure regulator at the water spigot and then use your white hose. The other one here is for the fresh tank. So pretty much the portable water. If you're taking it with you where you had a campsite that didn't have the water, you're going to fill it from here. Outside spray port, hot and cold water. The hose is provided right here for that. It's just simple quick connect. Down here you have your black tank and your gray tank. And then down here is a black tank flush. Pretty much it's like the sprayer inside the black tank. Right here you have your little winterization kit. This guy here goes into your bucket of antifreeze. There's a valve here that you turn. It disconnects the fresh water tank. And then you use the water pump to pretty much winterize your coach. Underneath is where the drain is going to be for the fresh water tank. Right now it is open because we did fill it to test systems. You also have this guy taken off right here. This is actually your galley tank. It's another valve that's kind of hidden down here. So pretty much you take off that cap, and the handle is located right inside. Back of your furnace, you got the mud dauber screen already. That's a nice perk. Helps keep the mud daubers out and the wasps. You got the water heater. Down here is going to be an anno rod. Starts out the size of a dime, works itself down to the size of a coat hanger. What it's doing is it's tracking the impurities in the water and attacks the rod, not the tank, because the tank is a steel tank. Whenever you go to take this guy out, you do want to relieve the pressure by pulling this upward. This guy is gas and electric option. The electric is going to be located down here for the switch. Gas option is controlled from the inside. It's labeled here your low point drains. These guys are pretty much the lowest points of the water lines in the coach. You got blue handle and red. Pretty much whenever you're going to winterize or you're trying to get all the water out of the coach, you just open up those valves. This here is going to be where one of your two dumps. You're always going to make sure you hook up your sewer hose. And then from there you always start with the black that's inside the compartment. Open that, do your black tank flush while you're doing that. Then close it off and you'll open your gray. The one gray inside the compartment and then your galley gray. Tires, recommend, this here sticker says you want to torque them at 100 foot-pounds. Being a larger fifth wheel, I am going to recommend at least 115. And you want to keep the tire pressure topped off at its top setting, and on this model here is 95 psi. Back here is going to be where our second dump area is. And then we have another cubby hole here for the handle for that. This guy here, I believe, is just the kitchen sink. Or, I'm sorry, the outside sink. I will show you how to open the slides once we step inside. They all are on the hydraulic system. Here's where you plug in your 50 amp power cord. It does have most of the hookups for the backup camera. You do have a barbecue grill here, and inside the storage compartment is a secondary barbecue grill. This guy would just swing open. The LP quick connect is on this side to connect for him. Kind of just step over here and show you that real quick. It says right here, LP quick connect. It is located down here where this guy's kind of hanging. You do got your ladder to the roof. That is meant to inspect the roof only. Just kind of check the sealant, make sure it doesn't have any air bubbles created or start cracking. Just from getting beat up by the sun, over time it can crack and just start to separate over time. Out here's going to be that outside shower, or kitchen, sorry. You got the outside fridge. This guy is 110 only, so you do have to be plugged into Sure Power for him to be operational. Then you got your sink. You do have a GFCI outlet here as well. And then you do have two light switches for the lights. Set those there for right now. With the steps, these guys are real nice. They're even guided assisted here, and they just kind of go in and lock into place. Whenever the door is shut, that keeps them confined so they ain't going, they ain't bouncing all over. It does have the mount to bring the TV outside, and then the plug for it. We do have the other spray port here, so you can hook up that sprayer inside. Inside here is going to be your spare tire. Previous customers built this addition here, so there's storage underneath. Provided a little more up top. This is going to be that other barbecue grill I spoke of. The connection for the outside TV is going to be located right inside here. You do have the outside speakers here as well. I'll show you how to turn those on once we step inside. And then this compartment here is going to be very much where most of our hydraulic system is located. Whenever you go to check this system, you do have to make sure every jack or anything that pretty much operates on the hydraulic system has to be up before you can check this here. Okay, so that means all your slides have to be brought in, all jacks have to be brought up. And then you can check this level here and then top it off if need be. There is a fill line here. A lot of people will have everything open and then they go to fill it. Problems will happen. And a mess. Alright, we're going to step inside. Pretty much as we step inside, right at the entry door is going to be your fire extinguisher. Down below here is the fuse control panel box. Anything that runs off the 110 is going to be on the breakers and is labeled. Anything that runs off batteries on your fuses end is also labeled down there as well. Inside this guy here is where our control panel is going to be. So if something was to happen with your leveling system, this is where it's going to tell you what's going on. Give it a second for it to load. From there, you have a My RV, which is just kind of like little troubleshooting how-tos. Then you got your awning. We'll show you that in just a minute. Leveling of the coach. So if there's something wrong with the leveling system, you can go in here and it will tell you what the error is. You got lighting, and that's just going to be your awning lights that you can turn on, which we'll go ahead and turn those on so you can see that. You got your monitoring panel. This guy here is going to pretty much show you your black tank status, fresh tank, gray tank, galley tanks, gray 1, gray 2. This is how you also are to turn on the water pump and the gas option for the water heater. Then you got your slides. Like I said, it's on a hydraulic system, so it always starts out. It's going to start out with the bedroom, then it starts out with this middle room, and then it brings them out. Real quick, I'm going to double check, make sure there's nothing on the other side. We are good. So right now it's this one that's opening up here. Start that one next. All right. Inside here is also where you can turn your inverter switch on and off. This is going to be for pretty much the fridge, residential style. And then your awning here. Guy is not really clean, do apologize for that. Pretty much so with the on and out, you are able to pretty much, as long as these guys are loose, you can slide this in to create a pitch. It's meant to be as a shade protectant. It should always be brought up when there is rain. I just have to say that. So the control panel is touch sensitive sometimes, so if your finger isn't right on the button or you just barely move your finger, it can cause the system to stop. And then lastly up here we got our 4 switches here. So we got this guy here. Where was he at? I'm trying to remember which one he was. This one here is our overhead lights for the hall. And then the third one is our ceiling lights. And then our last one is our step light down here. And then this guy here, is he? No, he was not in there. Oh, wait, is he? I believe he is actually, I think, the step light. For outside. Alright. Go ahead and start back here in the bedroom area. I will try to speak a little louder because the air conditioner is kind of going and is a little... I'm going to try to close that off to quiet it down just a hair. Pretty much you got your dresser area, your spot to mount TV. Hookups for that is going to be up here. Also where your TV antenna booster is. So that does have to be on to have TV signal. You do have the antenna located right here where it can be positioned. You got an arrow here, kind of shows you what way it's pointing. It only turns so far one way, then you would have to rotate it the other way around. Pretty much we've got our closet area here. You got the curtain or the rod that goes all the way across. It is divided. You got your shoe rack or shelves. Shelves on the back wall there. Then you do have the option for a stackable washer and dryer. You also have your hose attachments for the central vac system as well. You do always want to make sure this is going to be in the locked position during travel. This one is located up here. The other door is located on the floor. Each side does have its own individual reader lights. It's controlled by the switches on the far side. You do have very minimal storage underneath. $110, and our light switch here. This guy here is just for the thermostat for this air conditioner. Pretty much inside the bathroom, you got your sink, your shelving area here. Pretty much your first switch here is going to be for that fan. Then your other one is going to be your light. Another GFCI outlet. Yeah, see, that's why I was making that noise. It was pressed in there pretty hard. Then you got your shower, the hot and cold water. Very much it does have a shower reducer on it. Or nope, this one's got the nice fancy different style heads on it. To pretty much reduce the flow of water is going to be right here. Just because the average American uses 38 gallons of hot water when they take a shower. And your water heater is only 10 gallons, so you're just outmatched. This is going to be the lock for the shower door. Make sure it's always in that locked position during travel. And then we got our toilet. Pretty much to add water to it, you lightly press down on the pedestal. It'll add water all the way down flushes. You got more storage up here as well. For the ladder here, this just kind of swings out and sits down like so. to climb up. The light switch for that is going to be located up here. Your other one is going to be for the up-stop lights. There is a vent up there as well. Pretty much inside here, you got your other TV mount, antenna cable hookups, satellite, shelving. Pretty much run your cords through here. Not a lot of space for the shelves though. You got your cabinets and drawers down below as well. You got the bunk. The bunk can travel in either this up position or down. Pretty much you're just going to pull these guys here to bring it down. And there is a fire escape window located behind that. This guy here, you just turn on with the little center button. And then this here is one of the tri-fold beds. Let's see here. I think I had to set these off to the side last time. Pretty much these guys here. It's just going to lift, pull out the feet, and then pull forward. This guy drops down. As you see, it does take up pretty much the whole space. Then this folds down, you put your cushions there in the back, and then it's ready to go. There is usually enough space underneath here to where you could store like the sheets or blankets for this if you wanted to. I don't know if you got to see that space inside there. But there's about enough to hold like the pillows, blankets, sheets, things along that nature. Alright. Up here is going to be our thermostat. This is going to control both the rear AC and front AC. You have two different zones. That's going to be right here. So right now we are in zone 1. And then if you push it again, zone 2. I am not sure which zone is which. We're actually going to find that out right now. What we're going to do is going to go ahead and shut that off. If we go to... Oh, no, we shut that off completely. Sorry. Wait for that to come back on. Pretty much zone 1 to zone 2. Right now it's showing you the hourglass, so it's thinking. While it's thinking and figure out what it's wanting to do, you do have the different modes. Auto, as long as the gas is on, it will switch between the air conditioner and furnace to keep it a set temperature in here. Then you have just the furnace. Just the fan, which you can change the speeds right here off the side. It is recommended you always just keep it in auto. That way the air conditioners will kick on and off, and then you have just the off position. And then like zone 2 gives you just the fan off. So this one, zone 2, does not give you the option for the furnace. You can control the temperatures here, change it between Fahrenheit and Celsius. It'll show you your inside temperature. Programming can be kind of tricky. I honestly don't recommend messing with it. I've had previous customers have bad experiences with them, so I just recommend not doing it. But you can also set the clock. Next, we have the switch down below here. This is going to be for the ceiling fan. At this time, the blades are not on the ceiling fan because when they are on, they would get smashed by the slide rooms. So they have to be taken off every time you go to bring the slide rooms in. This guy here is going to be for your little island lights. And then this here is your exhaust fan for right above the stove area. We're going to see if we get this guy to come back on for us here. Because I was moving too fast for him earlier. Yeah, see, he's telling me to still hold. We'll shut him off. We'll go back to zone 1, give it a minute, let it think. You have your residential fridge. Temperature settings are going to be located up top, 35 and -3. This guy has only been plugged in for just a little while, so this guy isn't quite up to temp. Microwave, pretty self-explanatory. Usually what we recommend is setting the time. If you come back, time's not set, that shows that there was a power failure. You might want to look in to see what's going on with that. You have the light and your vent for the stove. Whenever you go to light the stove, you're going to turn the flame icon, and then this is your spark igniter on this side. This guy will also spark your oven. You're going to turn to the flame icon, but you got to push and hold it in while you spark ignite. Once it's lit, after 5 to 7 seconds, then you can set the temperature. This guy here just kind of turns on these guys here, and it's the light for the oven as well. Not a glass stovetop. Do make sure that it is down during travel so it does not get damaged or broken. Then we got pretty much our sink here on the island. The double-sided. Got storage underneath as well. We got our drawers here. Inside here we do have our remotes and our paperwork. So you got your Roku remote, or pretty much like a Roku style remote. And then you got the Connect remote, which is going to be for the radio. And then most of the paperwork in here is for the appliances inside the coach. Got storage inside these guys here. You got a light switch here that turns on these lights up above. And then you do have the recliners here. These guys get lifted by pulling the cord here on each side. They're located inside. They are tucked in there a little bit. This light here is going to be for your ambiance lights. This has red handles on it, showing that this is another fire exit window. These guys here are going to be turned on by a little button on the bottom. This bed is also going to be a full, the tri-fold style like I showed you in the other room. So it'll be the same concept of spread opening that guy. These are going to be our fan blades. They have the rubber grommets in there, and they're meant so they can come off for when you go to travel. I usually do recommend just kind of stuffing these right here on the side so we know where they're at and they won't get damaged or lost. So with the radio, pretty much you got your volume.
And a miss. Gorman strikes out, 2 gone.
You got different speaker zones. Speaker zone A is the inside speakers here. Speaker zone B is going to be your speakers up above on the ceiling. And then speaker zone C is going to be your outside speakers. That would be speaker zone C.
That brings up Tyler O'Neill.
It does play DVDs.
Single, 1 scored.
It is also, you can sync Bluetooth syncable. Pretty much with your TV right now, we are getting the free digital channels over the air. So that's what we got going on here now. If you're ever going to scan for channels because you're in a different location, just hit that home icon. Go over to Live TV, hit the options, and then you can scan for channels. Down below is going to be the fireplace. Down below is the fireplace. Pretty much you got your power button here on this side. You can change the level of the flames. This is a timer, or this is how you got no heat, low heat, high heat. Double zeros is just that ambiance look. You can change the temperatures here. And then the last one is the timer from 30 minutes to 9 hours. You got storage up above as well. Got a light switch here for the ambiance lights on there. This guy does also fold into a bed by pulling the table up, pulling the legs. The table sits on these little pieces here, and then the cushions fill in the table. Then you do have another light switch here for that ambiance up above also. Turn on this light here. It's just going to be a switch right here in the center. Real quick, we got this guy here, ambiance lights here. Then we have our LP and carbon monoxide detector. You always want to test this usually every 9 to 14 days if you're doing long periods of trips. It's usually recommended to check it every time you go out camping. Pretty much it's going to go through our test right now. Then it should do another, nope, that was our test. Then it went back to green. So we just performed our test. And then this guy here is going to be the lock for your refrigerator. This guy pretty much has, right inside here, a little notch here. And then he just pretty much just threads in and gets locked tight. Okay. Alright, from there we have pretty much made our way back to the entry door. If you guys do have any other questions, please feel free to call. We'll do our best to answer those. And hopefully you get to go out and enjoy this soon. Thank you and have a wonderful day.